Bro, she's such a liar. I'm like, come on. You literally went on television and said, Joe Biden needs to tell everybody if he's mentally disabled. Like, you literally, come on, dude. She went on TV and was like, yo, what's up with your brain? She said,
a time of turmoil.
oh, also, Harris's VP pick should be Josh Shapiro, says Chris Christie, which is yet another column in the it shouldn't be Josh Shapiro category, in my opinion. There you go. Yet another, I had no idea Aiden Ross was this stupid. Oh, yeah.
In Washington, a time that's also seen Representative Nancy Pelosi in what's become her customary position, front and center. The House Speaker Emerita has a new book out, The Art of Power, an art at which Nancy Pelosi is something of a master.
She's talking with Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes about matters public and private.
My husband and I have never talked about this. The doctors have supported that because they don't want him to revisit it.
Because of the trauma of October 28, 2022, when a man broke into their house in San Francisco and hit Paul Pelosi, then 82, in the head at least 3 times with a hammer. Surgeons had to remove part of his skull to save his life.
You were the intended target.
Yes.
He was looking for you.
Yeah, he was looking for me. Imagine the guilt of all of that. It's just a horrible thing.
Pelosi describes the horror in her new book.
One of the most gripping moments in this chapter is when your daughter, a documentarian, Alexandra, says to you, you have to give it up, she said to you, yelling. The speakership, Congress, everything in your public life. So did she blame you or?
Well, I blame me. I mean, not blame me. I was the target. My family, frankly, blames the certain elements of the Republican Party who had been demonizing me for about 20 years, every election and the rest. Cloven feet, horns on the head, a horrible person, in flames, a devil, and all of that. The sad thing about my husband's assault was that they just made a joke of it.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know?
They thought it was funny, and people laughed. So he was an instigator of violence and then made light of it.
I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation.
There have been reports that it was Nancy Pelosi who orchestrated a coordinated effort to squeeze President Biden to drop out.
Please tell us what you told President Biden to persuade him to step aside.
Well, I've never shared any conversations with the President of the United States publicly, no.
It's said that he's furious at you. Is he?
Well, he knows that I love him very much.
I understand that you don't want to own this, but it is so well reported that you were the leader of a pressure campaign.
No, I wasn't a leader of any pressure party.
She's not going to take ownership over it. That's my goat.
Well, let me say things that I didn't do. I didn't call one person. I did not call one person. I could always say to him, I never called anybody. What I'm saying is I had confidence that the president would make the proper choice for our country, whatever that would be. And I said that, whatever.
That's my queen. That's my real queen, dude. The protectorate of the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this was really funny. The CNN one. Check this out.
And their own statement. They make their own judgment and their own statement.
Have you spoken to President Biden since he dropped out?
No, I have not.
Do you hope to?
Yes, I hope to.
Yeah.
We're all busy.
She almost said one day.
Is everything okay with your relationship?
You'd have to ask him, but I hope so. But he knows. Look, I have loved Joe Biden, respected him for over 40 years. I was party chair in California, then I became member of Congress, and then one thing, other housewife, House member, House Speaker, working with him all along. I think he has made one of the biggest contributions to our country in the shortest period of time. they make their own judgment and their own statement.
That's my goat. She spoke about Shapiro, too. Former Speaker Pelosi says she doesn't think campaign against Shapiro as VP stems from anti-Semitism. I think it's probably more about policy, but the decision will be made by our candidate for POTUS. I think that it would be better if they weighed in more privately. Yep. Nancy Pelosi apology form. To Nancy Pelosi from everyone, day to day. The media convinced us you didn't know ball. I miss when you supported single payer. I was jealous of your stock game. I will hereby respect Speaker Emerita, and I will not talk down to Speaker Emerita Pelosi. Emerita. A spokesperson for Waltz confirms this is his detail. This is Minnesota detail, and the vehicles belong to the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. God damn it, chatters. Why the fuck? Why are you guys giving it to me? Why are you getting me excited only to be whisked away? Anyway, let's hear what the GOAT has to say. Everybody silence now. The GOAT is speaking.
Whatever that is, we'll go with.
Had you seen a decline in Joe Biden, and did you think he needed to step aside?
No. My whole point was, whatever he decides, but we have to have a more aggressive campaign.
She mentioned his many accomplishments, including his forceful leadership of the NATO summit.
Bro, she's such a liar. I'm like, come on. You literally went on television and said, Joe Biden needs to tell everybody if he's mentally disabled. Like, you literally, come on, dude. She went on TV and was like, yo, what's up with your brain? She said, it is valid for the American people to question whether or not Joe Biden had an episode or if this is a sign of consistent cognitive decline. Like, I'm almost verbatim on this, right? I'm not like paraphrasing it. That's crazy.
Met with other Western heads of state.
So he was in a good place to make whatever decision, the top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. Want to know what comes next.
That he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore? Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden. We have big needs for our country.
If there were a Mount Rushmore for speakers of the House, Nancy Pelosi would certainly be up there, commemorating her 20 years as a commanding leader in Congress.
Palm the table.
Until she relinquished Democratic Party leadership a year ago. In The Art of Power, Pelosi, now 84, looks back at some of the battles she's most proud of.
This is not a memoir. There's a certain...
This is a good take from Dave Weigel, friend of the show. There will be serious lawsuits if them swap out Biden for Harris. Not something you hear much anymore. I want you all to remember this, not because I'm like flexing. I mean, I am flexing like this, but not because I'm flexing this right now. Okay, I'm not saying like I was so right. The reason why I want to remind you of this is because I need you to remember that next time someone tells you things are a certain way, okay? I need you to remember next time someone or many members of the media, prominent Democratic Party officials, okay? Hasan, let's video call. This isn't a joke. I'm much better than looking at your Perpetua using ass. Okay, man. Next time someone is so convinced on a narrative, like if you hear a Hutch or if you hear like a Destiny style content creator or like Will Stansel or whoever is like a prominent figurehead, okay? Anytime somebody tells you something super convincingly, just remember that. It's like, think about it. Does this pass your own personal smell test, okay? Because everyone was so convinced, like, you can't do this, you can't do this. It'll be terrible, it'll be terrible, it'll be terrible. Was it? What happened? What happened to all these arguments?
Episodes of our history that I played a major role in. So I wanted to write about that just to show my side of it, what happened in the room where it happened, where I was.
She wasn't just in the room, she was working the room, usually running it. As during the financial bailout, COVID relief, the Affordable Care Act.
We're coming for you, Nancy!
And the dark day of January 6th.
You, in the book, talk about hearing the crowd saying, Nancy, Nancy, we're coming for you, is what they said.
Yeah.
And you knew what was happening that day was directed at you.
And the vice president. It was an insurrection instigated by the president of the United States. He now tries to disassociate himself from it, blaming it on me and everybody else. But that's the way he is. This was instigated by him.
This is a quote out of your book.
Yeah.
Because Trump was saying he was going to march to the Capitol. You said, if he comes, I'm going to punch him out.
That's right.
For trespassing on the Capitol grounds, I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
I knew that I would have to pay a price to go to jail, but I would be happy to do that.
Pelosi is now turning her toughness to defeating Donald Trump.
He has been the best.
Yes, I'm giving her my flowers, dude. Her flowers. She deserves them.
Organizer and fundraiser for the Democrats, because people know he should never set foot again in the White House. Never should have and shouldn't again.
Now, I pledge to every American, no matter your party, I will give you everything I have.
Did Donald Trump make a mistake when he chose J.D. Vance?
Oh, I think it was a great choice.
And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win!
So what is your bit of advice for Kamala Harris on how to run Trump? Does she instigate a fight?
That's scary. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing her laugh like that shook me to my core.
Does she bait him?
Let me just say this, and this is what I tell everybody all the time. Just be yourself. It's the same advice I give to women. Be yourself.
The opposition, the Trump people, and he and J.D. Vance are trying to portray Kamala Harris as being weird. She's a radical left-wing San Francisco crazy lady. She's weird and she's nuts.
She's crazy. She's nuts. She's not as crazy as Nancy Pelosi. Crazy Nancy.
Well, the thing is that there's no question that they understand I make people laugh at them, and that's what they don't like, is to be laughed at. On the other hand, what I have always said about Trump, and now I don't know that much about Vance, but what we do know is menacing.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
So what should she say?
Just talk about kitchen table issues.
Ignore him.
Ignore him. Yeah.
Turn around and just look at it. It's so beautiful from this side. You never see this side.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
No longer part of the leadership.
I spilled all over myself.
In the House, Pelosi is still running for re-election for her seat from San Francisco.
Were you ever asked to run for president?
I haven't been asked, but I was encouraged to put my name in there sometime for vice president. I said, why would I want to be vice president? I'm a legislator. I love legislating. People have to understand
She's right when she said ignore Trump. Like, obviously, no one's going to ignore Trump. But what she's saying is stick to the fucking issues. And she's right about that. She's not wrong. Killing it. My goat.
Serious work. I mean, you really have to listen. What is the judgment you bring as to what priorities can prevail? What is your strategy to get it done? It's constant. It's constant. And it's being respectful of all kinds of points of view. It's inside maneuvering, outside mobilization. It's great. I love being a legislator.
I like the lovely old ladies vibe that this conversation had.